Repton here at Motspur Park for the 1987 Arthur Dunn Cup final between Old Cholmeleians and Old Reptonians. Cholmeleians lost 1-0 to Brentwood in the final last year, but they have won the Arthurian League this season, while Reptonians have not been in this final since 1981, but have won that magnificent trophy on 9 occasions. We believe it's the second oldest trophy in football after the FA Cup, the Arthur Dunn Cup first being contested way back in 1903. And now Cholmeleians, intent on winning the double this year, taking part in their 9th Dunn final. They've played Reptonians 3 times already this season, beating them home and away in the league, but losing in the first round of the London Old Boys Cup. There are Cholmeleians and now Reptonians. They've yet to concede a goal in the Cup this year, and their team is unchanged from the one which beat Malvern 2-0 in the semi-final. In a moment you'll see the two teams come together for a minute's silence as a mark of respect for Dick Sale, the president of the Arthur Dunn Cup, who died recently. Dick was an old Reptonian who played in the competition himself, and he was later a housemaster at Repton before becoming headmaster at Brentwood. Mark Halstead, Paul Sylvester, Peter Ambrose, Andrew Sava, Frederico Kiriakou, Howard Oliver, Nigel Gray, Willie Warne, Mark Walton, Martin Smith and Captain Doug Wainwright for Cholmeleians, linesman Richard Scott and Mike Steele, and between them Pat O'Brien, the referee. Now Andy Cowell, Nick Walford, Rob Miller, Mark Beatty, John Proctor, Graham Blakesley, John Willett, Jerry Frost, Eddie Whale, Captain Mark Stretton, John Ivian Jones and goalkeeper Mark Smith of Reptonians. And the conditions are bound to be heavy. The pitch will be soft underneath. It's been raining all morning. Won't make it easy for the players, but we've got a good crowd here at Motspur Park for this final. And a good match in prospect as referee Pat O'Brien checks the 2 lineups, and away we go. Reptonians are wearing the yellow, and the ball passed back straight away to Nick Walford, who gives an early touch to goalkeeper Mark Smith, his first season in the Arthur Dunn side, having replaced Harry Potts. And Smith's kick is chased immediately by Frost. Rob Miller has made a run forward on the left-hand side. That's his cross, floating in there and turned away by Willie Warne, just conceding a corner to be on the safe side in the opening minute. Ivian Jones to take it. That header away was by Mark Walton. Forward again for Reptonians towards Beatty, and cleared this time by Ambrose. Willett got ahead to it, so it's a throw in there. Warne going to retrieve the ball from a saturated running track here. Really has been a lot of rain, as you can see. So it'll be slippery, especially for defenders. There's John Willett with the header back onto Beatty. Back now to Mark Stretton, the captain, and he's found Beatty again. And the cross skidding a little bit. Miller was in there. And that's a decent shot. Martin Smith saved it with his legs from Miller. 2 goalkeepers here called Smith. Martin Smith in goal for Cholmeleians and Mark Smith in goal for Reptonians. Don't be confused by that. This is the second corner, though, for Repton. Cholmeleians defending at the start. Ivian Jones again. And that was Willett, this strong right back, who's a soldier by profession, John Willett, heading there over the bar. So a lively start for the crowd here. Andrew Sava shielding the ball well from Blakesley. Number 3 there, Graham Blakesley, conceding the throw. Kiriakou into Sylvester. That's been intercepted by Frost. It'll be another throw to Cholmeleians. Nigel Gray into Sava. Back again for Gray. Walton is in the centre, looking there for Sylvester, but it needed an interception by Andy Cowell, who's one of 3 players who was in the last Reptonian winning team in '81. Kiriakou with the corner then. Halstead trying to get through. Reptonians had pulled everybody back. And that's a little push there by John Proctor on Halstead. Free kick, Ambrose to take it. Down the line to Kyriakou. Walford is covering him. Bit tight there. Back to Sylvester. Not a bad cross, and Howard Oliver had come forward there, and Blakesley again having to step in. That's a good spell for the league champions. They forced 2 quick corners. Short this time to Kyriakou. Walton trying to bring it down. Sylvester, and that was deflected, I think, by Mark Stretton. It's a corner again. Half cleared by Frost. Back in again by Halstead. That was curling a bit. Goal kick for Repton, whose management team will be familiar to some. 2 well-known figures on the bench, Scotty Cheshire and Richard Boddy with the umbrella. And Pat O'Brien brings the first half to a close. No score. Possibly the conditions getting the better of the 2 teams, but there were 1 or 2 good goal attempts. But defences for the most part on top here in the first half of the Arthur Dunn Cup final. It's Cholmeleians 0, Reptonians 0, and the crowd having a well-earned cup of tea, as indeed are the players. Good turnout though, and there's the trophy that they're playing for. So Cholmeleians start the second half then. No score. They're playing from left to right now. It was Wainwright who thumped that forward, and out comes Mark Smith. Long kick headed on by Frost, cleared by Ambrose. Now, can Ivan Jones reach that? Yes, he did. And it's gone out for a throw to Cholmeleians. Ambrose, headed back by Blakesley. Stretton. Oliver and Ivan Jones with their feet high. Good advantage played there by Pat O'Brien. Beatty's going well here. And not a bad shot either by Beatty, but Martin Smith was behind it. Throwing it out to his skipper, Wainwright, on to Sylvester. And that's going out. Still no score. Ivan Jones on the ball. It was Beatty, but Kyriakou is in the way. It was good skill from Kyriakou. Looking for Sava. Taking on Blakesley. Still Sava. That's an awkward one, and Mark Stretton saw the danger and came back from midfield to intercept. That's an enormous kick again by Smith. He really has caught Cholmeleians a little upfield there, and Frost in a 1-against-1 against Nigel Gray, and Gray has brought him down on the edge of the area. That's a free kick. Now, what will Reptonians work from here? Keep an eye on number 8, Mark Stretton, who's normally involved in these. He's got Miller there with him and Ivan Jones. And that was Stretton, and he's hit the bar, and it's come out for Miller, and that's a good save from Martin Smith. Another attack by Repton, intercepted by Ambrose. Now Walton, who's got a good turn of pace. He's taking on Andy Cowell and Nick Walford. That's a very good run indeed, and not far away from Walton, who really took on the central defenders there. Fine run from the Cholmeleian striker. And the crowd generous in their applause. Flick on by Frost towards Stretton, the clearance by Ambrose. Only as far as John Proctor, looking for Beatty. Into Stretton, Ambrose slipped a bit there, and Stretton is through and scores! That's the opening goal in the Arthur Dunn final. And the scorer, Mark Stretton, the captain of Reptonians, has put his side ahead, and now Cholmeleians have got a fight on their hands. So, Reptonians, who last won this cup in 1981, have made the right sort of start here today. It's been a long time coming, the opening goal. The crowd have waited patiently, but well thumped in there by Mark Stretton. There's that attack is cleared again. The surface getting the better of the referee there. Pat O'Brien slipped over in the middle of the pitch. He signalled to say that he's all right. But we're coming towards the end of this Arthur Dunn Cup final. It's 1-0 to Reptonians. And they're beginning to celebrate a little bit there in the stand. It's a free kick to Cholmeleians. Ambrose to take it with only seconds left on the watch here. They've pulled the ball back, and there goes Mark Halstead, and it's the equaliser. In the dying seconds, Cholmeleians have scored. Mark Halstead got up beautifully there from the free kick, and just look at that. No sooner have they kicked off than Reptonians hold their heads. They let the lead slip in the dying minutes. And now it's extra time. Cholmeleians won, Reptonians won over the 90 minutes. So now 15 minutes each way. Repton substitute Eddie Whale was warming up there. He'll be coming on. Stretton pumping the ball upfield, looking for Ivan Jones. Highgate have got a sub on as well. That's Stephen Halstead, who's come on for Nigel Gray. Finding Saba, pushing the ball out to Sylvester. Well, the game's really warming up now. Tackle going in by Mark Stretton. Oliver finds Halstead, and Proctor intercepting. The rain really lashing down now at Motspur Park. 1-1 extra time. Ivan Jones a 1-2 there with Frost. And Jones running on here for Reptonians. And he forces the corner. It was Vaughan who got his foot in there. Well, can Repton restore their lead here? Good deep corner by Ivan Jones. Blakesley was in there, but the goalkeeper pouncing on that. And this is some comeback by Cholmeleians. They looked absolutely out of it in normal time. Substitute Halstead brings the ball forward, and that's the first period of extra time over. And the score is still 1-1, and Repton are going to make their substitution. That is Eddie Whale, number 12. He's come on for Jerry Frost. So, are we going to see some drama in this final quarter of an hour? Kyriaki will be hoping to run at the tired legs of the Repton defence. He's already shown some good skill on the ball, but Stretton was in the way there. Trying to find Whale. Halstead goes across, and Oliver, in fact, pushed the ball out there for a throw-in. Reptonians attacking down the left with Whale. Ivan Jones in the middle, but look at the flag, that's going to be ruled out for offside. Ivan Jones unlucky, looks across and sees the linesman with flag raised. I think Pat O'Brien will have to give that decision because the flag was up when that first ball went in. So it's still 1-1. Free kick from Oliver. Willett made a good interception there. Ivan Jones to Beatty. Now, can Beatty do something here? No, he's topped his shot. It was a good move by Reptonians. Now Mark Stretton playing the 1-2 with John Proctor, trying to find Beatty in the box. Clearance comes out to Willett. In again to Stretton, who's all over the pitch. And a good shot again. He's hit the post this time, Stretton. And can they score from the rebound? They can. It's Eddie Whale. It's Eddie Whale, the substitute, who's put Repton back in front. Smart piece of finishing. He saw where the ball was going to come back off the post from Stretton's shot. So the captain sets it up, and Whale, the scorer. An inspired substitution there by Richard Body, and Reptonians now lead by 2 goals to 1, and surely now the trophy's on its way to Repton. I wouldn't have thought they would let this lead slip twice. Although with Cholmeleians you really never know. It's a corner in the last minute again. They're singing there already, the Reptonian supporters. But there may just be time for this corner to be taken by Wainwright. Returned and the cross goes in. Oh, another header and a goal! This time it's Mark Walton. And they've gone and done it again. The second last-minute equaliser today by Cholmeleians. And that is quite amazing. Repton have allowed the lead to slip twice in the very last, first in the 90 minutes and now in extra time. We're back to 2-2 and there can hardly be any more time on Pat O'Brien's watch. It really was another quite stunning recovery that by Cholmeleians when all appeared lost. But now they have a replay because the final whistle goes with the score here at Motspur Park. Old Reptonians 2, Old Cholmeleians 2. Mark Stretton and Eddie Whale, the scorers for Repton, who must have thought twice that they had the match won. Mark Halstead and then Mark Walton coming along with last gasp equalisers for Cholmeleians, who'll be mighty pleased still to be alive, and Repton will be cursing their luck. 2-2. Well, here we are again at Motspur Park for the replay of the Arthur Dunn Cup final. It's Bank Holiday Monday, May the 4th, and what different weather conditions we have here now. A bright sunny afternoon, a fresh breeze, the pitch firm underfoot. Cholmeleians have made changes from the first game. Kyriakou is injured, and Sava is now a substitute. Nick Rathbone has come in at right back. Nigel Gray is in midfield, joining Ian Amstad, who's back from injury, and Halstead is pushed forward to join Walton. Repton, who've just kicked off, remain unchanged, as do the officials. So we'll see what happens this time, because nothing could be more dramatic, surely, than that first final, when it finished 2-2 with those last-minute goals from Cholmeleians. Rathbone threw that one down the line, and Nick Walford there is just sweeping up at the back. He didn't quite control that. Another throw into Cholmeleians. Rathbone into Wainwright. Tackle by Stretton, who was so influential in the first match. Another throw by Rathbone. That was Walford with the header. Miller trying to get the ball clear, but it's only gone as far as Warren. He's taking on Cowell. And the cross half cleared there by Stretton, then by Walford, and finally by Ivan Jones. And it was Oliver that headed forward, but a free kick given there for offside. And Walford back to Smith. That long kick of Mark Smith was a feature of the first game. And there it goes again. Flick on by Beatty. Trying to put Stretton in the clear, and he has. And a good shot by Mark Stretton, and what a start again for Repton. That's a fine goal by Stretton, the captain, who scored in the first match. Indeed, he had a hand in the second then. And that cross shot has put Reptonians into the lead, one has to say, for the third time in this Arthur Dunn Cup final, really, because they led, you remember, twice in the first game, and now they've got the edge again. Blakesley with the throw. Into Beatty, back to Proctor. Cleared by Ambrose to Amstad. That's Stretton in there again, trying to find Miller. So once again, Cholmeleians coming from behind. That's Rathbone with the throw. Cowell trying to get the ball away, but didn't succeed. And there's a chance here for Cholmeleians, possibly, but Smith was on the edge of the box to take that from Walton. Good positioning. Another good kick by Smith. Oliver got his head to it, and that's going to go out on the far side for a throw into Reptonians. Well, they'll be really pleased to have started so well once again. But they must concentrate this time, and indeed they could get a second here. There's a real chance in there, and a good save. Miller was the player who perhaps should have made it 2-0. He was right in front of goal, but Martin Smith reacting splendidly. Ivan Jones then with the first corner of the game. Fired in quite low, coming out again to Ivan Jones. That's his head. Oh my word, he took a tumble there, Ivan Jones. I think Pat O'Brien will want to make sure that he's all right. It was an accidental collision, but he certainly took a nasty fall. Anyway, he's back in the action now. That was Blakesley with the throw. Proctor trying to pick it up. Walton was in there. Howell got his foot to that. Much better playing conditions today. The two teams will appreciate that. Especially when you bear in mind the pouring rain they had to contend with in that first match. Very different today. Sylvester trying to get forward for Cholmeleians, but Stretton got a tackle in there. Now the quickly taken throw. Walford trying to head the ball away. Half cleared both by Stretton and Walford there. Ivan Jones once more involved, finding Beatty. Miller's made a good run forward again here, very prominent with those runs from midfield. Oliver found Wainwright there, but Willett got in good interception in for Reptonians, the right back, laying it into Beatty. Ambrose with the tackle, and then Stretton tangles with Sylvester. Proctor on the ball now for Reptonians. He's tackled from behind. I think that was Sylvester who committed the foul. And bear in mind, we saw a goal, or rather a close thing from this position in the first match. I think, if I'm not mistaken, Mark Stretton hit the bar from this sort of position. This time Ifin Jones tries his luck, and the goalkeeper didn't seem too comfortable there. It's gone out for a corner. Ifin Jones will take that. And Stretton with the header, and a chance here surely for Cowell. It was blocked. Slightly lucky escape that for Cholmeleians. John Willett has now got the ball for Repton. Taking on Rathbone, but perhaps not quite so strong on his left foot, soldier John Willett. And there's Martin Smith with the goal kick. Headed on by Walton. Then Proctor got a head to that. Stretton pushed it forward. Rather like ping-pong at the moment, but if we can find the telling pass, and they might now. That was Walton going through, and Walford got a foot in, and Cowell just stepped in at the end. Good counter-attack by Cholmeleians. Beatty there, tangling with Amstadt. Over on the far side, John Willett again. Not much has got past him, right back, in these two games. Going there to Walton, playing it back to Vaughan. Now Sylvester for Cholmeleians, but close challenge by Cowell. Walton knocked it back in, cleared by Walford to Stretton. Again, Vaughan trying to get it forward, but it came off Stretton for the throw. Down the line to Walton then, going past Cowell. Chance here perhaps, the cross too close to the goalkeeper. And Smith didn't hesitate, he kicked that straight out, looking for Frost. Rathbone's got a job on here to clear as Repton gain valuable ground. Throw by Frost into Stretton. Ball knocked forward here by Rathbone. Up to Halstead. Walford challenged him. Halstead trying to keep it in. So it'll be a throw in for Graham Blakesley to take for Reptonians. He's got one or two supporters here today. That's his sister Chrissy there in the leather jacket, Graham Blakesley's sister, as he takes the throw into Frost, but that's gone out again. So play very much sandwiched on this left-hand side for Reptonians at the moment. It's back with Martin Smith, taking his time as the Cholmeleians move out. Blakesley, or rather Miller there was underneath that. Forward by Cowell. But straight through to the goalkeeper again. Not very much in the way of scoring chances at this stage in the game, but remember Repton lead 1-0 thanks to Stretton. Blakesley's header this time, number 3. Amstadt got a foot in, Walton challenging, then Wainwright with Proctor. But that's Nick Walford just turning it safely back to Mark Smith. And the goalkeeper's really at the moment dominating proceedings with these long kicks. It's a bit repetitious at the moment, but that's going to be a goal kick to Cholmeleians. And they're seeing far more of the ball, the keepers, than the forward players. That wasn't a very good kick though. Seemed to top it a bit. Proctor got it off him. Frost. It's a strong challenge by Amstadt. Rathbone away from Proctor. Must say that Reptonians are having the greatest share of the play. They're one up, remember. Blakesley into Beatty here, hooking it across towards the far post. Now, Ifin Jones. Walford taking over. That's not a bad ball. Out to John Willett on the right. Good move here by Repton, and Vaughan needed to get a foot in there. He's given away the corner. And as in the first match, the balance of play at this stage very much with Reptonians. Ifin Jones will take it. And there's Andy Cowell with the header. Oh, it's gone in! The man on the line couldn't stop it, and Andy Cowell has made it 2-0 to Reptonians. Oh, it's a great start for them in the replay. Good header, it was looping a bit, but he managed to squeeze it past the dejected Smith. And a nice moment for Andy Cowell, one of 3 players playing today who was in the Reptonians team which played in the 1981 final. Walford managing to win the throw-in there, and there'll be an air of confidence surely now in the Reptonians team. Sylvester combining with Amstadt. There was a foul there by Stretton on Amstadt. Now, how do Cholmeleians come back from this? They're 2 down, remember, this time. Peter Ambrose with the kick. Having said that, they surprised us all in the first game, not once but twice, so it would be unwise to write them off. Still in the first half. Another big kick by Smith. Rathbone and Frost together. Stretton into Beatty. Back to Stretton. And they are playing with some panache now, Reptonians. They've forced another corner off Warne. And we've seen that Ifian Jones can really make these corners tell. It's the first poor one he's taken over the 2 matches. It's gone out for a goal kick. But Andy Cowell there, the scorer of the second goal, will be well pleased with the way things are going here for Reptonians. Ambrose forward for Cholmeleians, straight to Willett. Ifian Jones. He's got plenty of skill on the ball. And again, it's Reptonians who are pushing the play into the Cholmeleians half. And indeed, we haven't seen Cholmeleians really threaten the Reptonians' goal. Walton doing quite nicely though. He went past Stretton. Cowell appeared to bring him down, and I think Pat O'Brien's only given the throw there, taken by Wainwright. Oliver, but harmless really. Cholmeleians were so intent on winning the double, but they're going to find it hard going now. Smith with the kick, headed on by Stretton. That was Warne with the up and under. Beatty. It's a nice turn by him. Mark Stretton is well forward. Ambrose got a foot in. Ifian Jones taking on Warne. And the linesman signals that that is a goal kick. 2-0 then to Reptonians in the first half of this replay at Motspur Park. Martin Smith with the goal kick. But Reptonians again winning the loose ball. That's really been the pattern. This is Blakesley, and Miller made a good overlapping run. It was just too far, but there's plenty of purpose about the Reptonians' attack today. Walton on to Amstadt. Now Wainwright. Gray couldn't quite reach it. That's John Willett, number 2. Wide to Ifian Jones. I think it's fair to say that Repton are finding their men much better in this first half than Cholmeleians. Jones looking for the return there. It was Warne who stepped in, down to Gray. Now Gray trying to use his speed. Andy Cowell will have to go across, and he has, to corner. The header away was by Rob Miller. Wainwright beating Stretton. Back to Amstadt. Well away by Willett. Now Stretton. And this is Frost, number 11. But the experienced figure of Oliver there. Good tackle, but a poor pass. Well, they say that 2-0's a dangerous lead to hold in football sometimes. You're not sure whether to push on and try and get the third goal, which is what Repton are doing, or perhaps try and sit on the lead, really. That was Blakesley's cross. And a chance there, but enough white shirts around for the ball to go back to Smith. Rolling it out here to Rathbone. Coming up to the end of the first half here at Motspur Park in the Arthur Dunn Cup Final replay. And Pat O'Brien blows his whistle. Applause from the Repton supporters, and with good reason. They lead here by 2-0. Mark Stretton got the first, and Andy Cowell looped in the header for the second. And Cholmeleians, who've come back from an impossible position twice, as we keep saying, have now got to do just that again in this second half. I think it's fair to say that the players have given good value to their supporters over these two matches. It's been entertaining football, but the prize at stake, the Arthur Dunn Cup, is still 45 minutes away from being won if Repton are going to hold on to this lead and spoil Cholmeleians' hopes of the double. So, Cholmeleians playing now from right to left in the second half. And that's back to goalkeeper Martin Smith. Warren at left back, who had quite a job on in the first half in a defensive respect. He finds Gray. Tackled by Willett. He's been very sound. Forward to Beatty, usually the target man for Reptonians, but Oliver was in there. Now it'll be John Willett with the throw. Certainly can't fault the effort here of either team. We've seen some positive football, but the more progressive side of it coming from Reptonians. That's Willett forward again. Straight to Warren though, that was Gray. Lost it to Proctor. John Proctor looking for the pass to Beatty. Cleared by Oliver, Halstead. Wainwright. Here's Gray. Inside Proctor. Now Rathbone. Again, Reptonians pulling players back in defence. Ifin Jones was helping out there. Indeed, I think that was a foul by him, or rather on him, by Rathbone. Feet were a bit high. But no complaints, I'm sure, about the way Pat O'Brien has handled these two fouls. And there's a possibility for number 3 for Repton. And how it didn't go in, I'll never know. Well, it was Miller who had the header, which the goalkeeper saved. And then when Beatty looked certain to score from the rebound, first the goalkeeper and then his own poor control let him down. Foul by Walton on Ifin Jones. Really feel it should have been 3-0 to Repton there. There was a good chance. And full marks to Martin Smith. He may have kept Cholmeleians in this final with that double save. Walford with the kick. Finds Blakesley. Willett. And away by Amstadt. But Willett again. Down the line they're shouting for Beatty. Into Stretton. Back again to Beatty. He's looking threatening just at the moment, the big centre forward. What Cholmeleians certainly can't afford to do here is concede the third goal. They're looking for a way back at the other end, ideally, but they just don't seem to be able to get forward. The tackles are being won here by Repton in the middle of the field. That was Mark Stretton, number 8, taking a quick free kick to Ifin Jones. Could be a shot on here for the big number 10, but instead he tried to find Frost, and it's a Cholmeleians throw. On to Gray. Back to Wainwright. Into Sylvester. They've shown some neat touches, Cholmeleians, in this part of the field, but perhaps haven't been penetrating up front. That's where they're losing it. Here's Proctor. Blakesley over on the far side. Into Frost. Blakesley again. And this time Beatty trying to bustle his way through. In again by Willett. And finally with the goalkeeper. He's choosing to throw it out this time to Rathbone. Really, it's been very much one way in the second half up to now. Repton, good value for their 2-0 lead. Repton throw. Stretton square to Ifin Jones. Frost is calling for it. Back into Proctor there.
Come on now,
It's a foul by Frost. Free kick to Cholmeleians. Pushed out here to Gray. Wide to Walton. Coming inside nicely there has Walton. Oh, good tackle by Mark Stretton. Really good, and he's tried to put Beatty away. It's just overhit slightly. Smith coming out. That's Rathbone on the far side. Wainwright is there. And again, it's Stretton who wins the ball, showing a fine example, the Reptonians captain here. Blakesley hitting a longer one. It'll find only Oliver. It's nicely done by him, but intercepted by Miller. And he's going on a run, and that could be a penalty, and it is. Ambrose brought him down. It was a promising run by Rob Miller, and it leads to a penalty for Reptonians. And here's Ifian Jones to make it 3-0 with a very confident kick from the spot. And surely now Repton are on their way to winning the Arthur Dunn Cup. You wouldn't think they would lose a 3-0 lead. And their scorers, Stretton, Cowell and now Ifian Jones, all survivors of the 1981 team. A nice touch that for Repton. But where do Cholmeleians go from here? The linesman's flag is up for offside against Frost. They're 3-0 down, remember. And that would seem to be a tall order to come back from that sort of deficit in the second half. Rathbone with the throw. Sava, who's come on as a substitute. A forward on for the defender Oliver, which is a predictable move when you're 3-0 down. Blakesley with the throw. Headed out by Rathbone, so it'll be the same again here for Reptonians. Miller to Beatty. On to Whale, number 12. Scored, you'll recall, in the first match. Touched the ball inside, Stretton helped it on, and here's Ifian Jones. Surely that's number 4, and it's not. Well, that would have put it beyond doubt, and I think Ifian Jones knows that better than anybody. You'd have backed him to score there. On by Walton. Header away by Cowell. Finding Stretton, arguably the man of the match. Here's Willett, who's had a very good match at right back also. Here's Beatty, number 9. Strong tackle from Ambrose. I think he hurt himself more than he hurt Beatty there. Warren picked the ball up, found Gray. And Wainwright getting involved as well. Square to Amstadt. And now Rathbone. This is better from Cholmeleians. Walford cutting it out there. Well, even now, Reptonians can't relax. Cholmeleians have shown their resilient qualities before. Rathbone takes the throw. And the referee, Pat O'Brien, penalises Sylvester. So it looks as though it's going Reptonians' way. 3-0 up in the replay of this 1987 Arthur Dunn Cup final. Warren. Ifian Jones got a foot to it. That's Wainwright. Ifian Jones again. Wasn't a very popular decision on the part of Pat O'Brien, but it was a foul by Gray, so Walford will take the kick. Stretton trying to find Ifian Jones. He really is a threat at the moment, well intercepted by the goalkeeper, and he's looking to get Cholmeleians away immediately. Header by Walford, forward by Gray. That was Miller's header. He got distance too, but the flag's up for offside, probably against Beatty. Not a bad cross, that, and Walton's there, and he scored. Well, that's so typical of Cholmeleians, and not a dissimilar goal to the ones they got in the first match. Reptonians caught out in the air at the back. It was a quick counter, and Walton, Mark Walton, has scored for Cholmeleians to pull it back to 3-1. Now, could we be in for another dramatic comeback on the part of old Cholmeleians? There was a bad challenge back there on Ifian Jones by Sava, who was warned by the referee. Walford with the kick. That's Whale, and Beatty is through. Warren just managing to push the ball out. So 3-1 now, a rather different picture. Into Stretton. Oh, there was a chance for Whale there, but he couldn't get his foot round the ball properly. Smith finding Sylvester. Back to Halstead. Blakesley got a foot in. Now it's Sylvester against Whale. Is there a way back yet then for Cholmeleians? Certainly encouraged by the goal, although it's Warren there who lost his footing. On by Wainwright. Willett doing a useful job in there again. That was Gray. And Stretton finally getting the ball out for a throw. Halstead did well to get the cross in. That was the blonde figure of John Proctor heading the ball out for a corner. And Cholmeleians making a genuine fight of this now. They've got one goal back. Amstadt takes the corner. This is Rathbone. Stretton got it half away. Here's Gray with a chance, and the goalkeeper in the right place. Smith got everything behind that, and needed to. And the long kick again from Mark Smith. He's trying to find Eddie Whale there, number 12. It's fallen back to Beattie. Blocked by Warne. Beattie again, trying to hold it up. This is Whale. And Gray concedes the throw. Willett takes the throw into Stretton. Sets up Ivan Jones. But that one spooned off the side of his foot. Not that it'll worry Repton too much. They just need to keep their heads here with a 2-goal advantage. Might even be better than that. There's Whale threatening again. It was a good volley by Eddie Whale. Just over the top. Halstead finding Walton. It's a good run too. On to Gray. And Nick Walford got a foot in there, and that's a penalty. That was a slightly reckless challenge by Walford on the edge of the area, just inside the area, and with less than 5 minutes to go, a chance for Paul Sylvester here to make it 3-2. And he has, sending the goalkeeper the wrong way, Paul Sylvester. And here we are again with Cholmeleians attempting the impossible. Twice they came back in the first game, and here we are now. They're back at 3-2, having trailed 3-0. And one would have to say Repton should have locked the game up yet again. And once more, they failed to do so. So, would this be, I wonder, another case of extra time? Cholmeleians need one more goal to force it. And they don't look anything like so tired now. Referee, I think, saw a push by Whale. He's given Cholmeleians a free kick. The final seconds again, taken by Ambrose. These will be nervous moments for Reptonians. They've been through all this before. Halstead wide to Amstadt. Sylvester's in there again. So too is Rathbone on the outside. It may be overhit. It was just relief for Repton. And disappointment for Cholmeleians. Beattie looks for Stretton. And that's been cleared by Ambrose. Willett heads forward again. This is Gray. Now it's Savard on the run. Walford this time more decisive, although he may have conceded the corner. He has. Well, this must surely be Cholmeleians' last chance, but how many times have we said that? Corner taken short to Amstadt. Far post cross, and Walton trying to volley it. It's all very anxious and nervous in there. And somehow they've survived, Reptonians, for the moment anyway. And there goes the final whistle, and Repton, after all sorts of alarms and nightmares, have won the Arthur Dunn Cup in 1987, having beaten Cholmeleians 3-2 here at Motspur Park. Reptonians' first Arthur Dunn triumph since 1981. But what dramatic circumstances here. Pipped at the post, as it were, in the first match, not once but twice. They now come to win the replay, having been 3-0 up by 3-2.
I think you will agree with me that the exciting part was at the end. It was a good match, a very convincing win, I think, on the whole, for the winners, for Repton. I should first of all like to thank London University for the use of their ground and their facilities. I think everyone will agree that they've been extremely good, and today was a delightful day as well. I should secondly like to thank our referee and our linesman for the efficient way in which they conducted the match and I would ask them to come forward and accept a little token of our appreciation and of the game. Will you please come forward? Pat O'Brien, Richard Scott and Mike Steele.
Yes, there were 3 teams on the field in this Arthur Dunn Cup final, and the officials kept things nice and tidily under control over the 2 matches. That also was a compliment to the sportsmanship shown by the 2 teams, very much in keeping with the tradition of this trophy.
Thank you very much indeed. Well done. And now I would like to ask the captain of the old Reptonians to come forward to accept the cup. It is with a little reluctance that I do so, naturally. But I will, nevertheless, you have deserved it, you won it, and do come forward to be presented to you with the trophy.
And you won't find a more influential or popular captain than Mark Stretton, a scorer in both matches and a shining example to his team in midfield. Great day for him and for Reptonians, and forward comes sweeper Nick Walford to help carry away this most prestigious trophy, the Arthur Dunn Cup, won by old Reptonians for the first time for 6 years.
The old Cholmeian captain, please come forward.
And what can you say about old Cholmeians, except that they made this one of the most memorable finals because of their refusal to lie down. 3 great recoveries. They haven't won the double, but they are league champions and runners-up here, and Reptonians proudly lift the Arthur Dunn Cup.